Hey guys, Old Iron Will here. Today's job, doing another favor for my buddy here. He wants to put some, he's tighten his valves up here. They're pretty sloppy and loose, so today I'm going to put some valve guide liners in for him. So why don't you stick around, I'll show you how I do it. So guys, what I got, I just kind of use some old thread rod that I've cut a while ago just to make a little stand for these when I'm going to do it. I bought this, I think it's an old Goodson set, yeah. The old part number on it's a BL1602R. It's a valve guide liner installation kit. Comes with a reamer, a few different punches, an installation tool, stuff like that. So a little brush for cleaning stuff out. Over the years, I've made a bunch of different parts and pieces. I've had this for, I don't know, 7-8 years now or something like that. So basically what I do is I kind of make a pilot. And I was going through, I had a whole bunch of these made already that I've made over the years. So I did have one that fits this particular head. Kind of stick that in there. Put that piece in there, and I'll take the reamer. I'll just use a hand drill, electric hand drill, and I'll run that through. But that all kind of keeps me nice, straight, and true. So that's what we'll do. We'll drill those out first, and there we go, there's one's drilled out. You can see quite a bit of material, stuff came out. Now we'll go over, we'll do the second one here. There we go, there's the second one's done. So really the next step is to take these guide liners. This is set up for a 3/8 valve, which this head is. I really like to get my hands on a set of 5/16 ones, but I haven't been able to find a used set yet, so. So it just kind of slides in. There's a cover that goes over it. I kind of just have a little bit sticking out. Get that into where the old valve guide that we just reamed out is, and then I just tap these through. There we go. So the one, there's always quite a bit extra to cut off. So I just Figure out how my saw will fit in there the best. There we go, there's one cut off. Now we'll go and we'll install the other one. There we go, second one's in. Same thing, just gotta let's play around and see how the saw will line up best. Second one's done. I just like to take a chamfer a bit and kind of left the one out a little bit too far there, but it's ground down nice and flush now. So next step is we got these drivers, 3 different sizes. I start with the small one. What it does is basically mushrooms out or expands out the liner. I start with the smallest size one. There's a 0.376. 0.375 and a 0.374 it should be. So I'll start off with that one and just kind of keep running them through until I can get the valves to where I think they're nice and just at the right tightness and stuff where they'll move freely, but there isn't any slop. So I gotta clean the valves up first. So I don't think I'll have you guys, I don't think you need to see me watch me run a wire brush. So I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do this side. So this is the intake one. I've just kind of wire brushed it up. I'm going to put an eye on there because I probably will forget which one's which before the end of the day. So now I need to take the small size driver. Again, I'm just going to verify this is the 3.74. And just tap those through. like I say, never fits the first go around. Oh, it does. Wow. Must be some wear on those valve stems, because usually, actually that's almost about right. It never goes that fast, trust me. So, we gotta do the second one. I still gotta clean that valve up, so we'll be back. So there we go. I'm gonna work on the exhaust valve now. I was just playing around a little bit, see if it would fit in that valve guide. I gotta ponder that. I don't like how that went so quickly. So anyways, basically the same thing again. Guarantee you this one won't go. And that's normally what happens, right? It kind of hangs up, but I'm gonna drive through this size a couple more times. Every time you can see it's getting easier, so. And still very, very tight to put that in there. So we'll go up to the next one. Making sure it's the 0.375, so. Drive it through a couple of more times. See, it's getting closer, so I'm not gonna go to size bigger. I'm just gonna keep driving this one through a few more times. Still hanging up a little bit there. I just keep driving it through until I get a nice smooth operation. Almost there, I think one more. Or, you know, I think I'm happy with that right there. I'm gonna do one more. Still hanging up a hair. Do it one more. I don't want to go to next size up, so. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that now. So there's that part of it. There's the valve guide installation. Next, I want to look at cutting valve seats. I still am pretty concerned about with that intake valve. I'm not even sure if I've never had that happen where it was an undersized one. So that valve's definitely undersized or it's wore. So I guess it'll be up to him what he wants to do, whether he wants to find a new valve. That would be my recommendation. Make a new valve, find another donor one. It's definitely not an original. It's a Twin City valve out of a tractor, so definitely a used valve. It's a head for a 1 horsepower Rock Island, he told me. So anyways, I'm gonna get set up for cutting some the valve seat here. I'll show you guys what I do there. So let's move along. So that was my concern. I was just thinking my Pilot fits nice into the exhaust one, but that intake valve guide that I think maybe needs to be driven out, or I think we're gonna have to find a new valve, like it won't fit in there. So this is just a cheap Indonesia. I think it was from Indonesia, East India, somewhere out there. Just a cheap cheap valve seat cutting set I bought. I do have a powered one. I'm not a big fan of using it. I always find I take too much material off with it when I'm doing it. So definitely I don't have a Pilot to fit that. So anyways, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to cut a new valve seat. So I'm going to blue the valve seat face here. And then we'll put in the proper cutter. We'll cut it. I'll show you what I do there. So that looks like the proper cutter I need. That'll help show me how, when I have the whole valve seat face cut, so we'll just give that a moment to dry. I'm going to move a bunch of this stuff out of the way. So I've used this valve seat cutter a fair bit already over the last few years. I've had to make some of my own Pilots and stuff like that, so depending on what I'm doing. So just kind of give it some, not a lot of pressure, just, you know, but I do put kind of the weight of my hand on there, if that kind of makes sense. And we just turn it, and I just kind of look to see how it's cutting. And once we got a completely clean face and all the bluing is gone, I'm pretty much ready. So even though I've tried to line things up as good as I could with those Pilots, there's still the opportunity to be out a few thousandths here and there, right? So we're getting close already, so probably about half of it is cut. Just gotta remember not to turn the cutters backwards, so, and dull them, so always try to make sure you're turning clockwise. So it's getting pretty close here now. So definitely a powered one would be much quicker, but like I say, I just find that I don't take off any more material than I have to this way. So So the blooming's pretty much all gone, but there's a couple of nicks in there I want to work out. So I'm probably just going to keep working at that. Maybe put you guys on a time lapse here for now. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Well guys, there I've cut the new seats in. They'll need to be lapped in by him yet. There's still a couple nicks in that one and I would have to do a lot of cutting to get them right out. So my friend Barry will have to decide whether he wants to take more out of there or not. So this is the one that kind of concerns me. There's a bit of a nick there. So I did make the call. I went looking through my valves and I did find a used 3/8 valve stem. You know, I'll have to cut down the valve head and everything for him here, but I think that's the better. I ended up getting the valves mixed up too, right? So this is the intake one here. So it definitely, it's just, you know, a little bit of oil and a little bit of spring pressure. It would definitely, it's gonna work nice. So this one here is the one I'm gonna have to just trim down the head. It's a little big, it's a little, but it's working nice too. So there we go. So I guess next thing is to trim that valve head up to size. I'll probably leave the stem for him to do. And yeah, we're kind of getting close to this little project being wrapped up for what I need to do. So just gonna trim this head down. Oh, nicked myself somewhere. Just so the head is size appropriate for that head of the valve. Size appropriate for the head itself, so the valve seat and all that stuff. So I came up with 1 inch and 15-30 seconds is what I want to get it to. So this is going to be some hard cutting, so it won't be very deep cuts. So that's pretty much got that part of it. So I'm just going to reset up the valve, make sure, because I want to cut it at a 40. I'm going to cut it at a 46-degree angle because the other seats were cut at 45. So I'm just going to shut the camera off here a little bit, set up, probably change out my bit, and then we'll maybe reposition the camera a little bit too, just so you maybe can see a little bit better what we're going to do here. So, okay, be back in a minute. So guys, I'm set. Cut a 46-degree face on this valve. So let's see what happens. I think I'm just going to change the position of this bit just a hair. Just taking really light cuts again. Pretty hard material, pretty small lathe. So we'll take it a couple thousandths at a time. So I did put a little bluing on there just so I can see a little better where I'm at. So put a little more angle on this. Sorry guys, I'm not sure how much of some of that you caught. I ran out of space on the camera, so just gonna do a couple of real quick cleanup cuts. It's looking pretty good, the face of it though, so I think we'll take a couple real light cuts with the Here we go, guys. That's the new one I just cut. So came out pretty good. It'll need to be cut to length, but I think I'll leave that for him to do. And seems to fit in there nice. So really, the rest of it is up to him now. So, well, there we have it, guys. A few things to put away, brush off the lathe, but you know, kind of got things done there. Valves seem to run fairly nice in there. Not too tight, not too loose. So once they're rest of it will be up to my friend Barry. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment and you know, share if you also see that it's worth sharing out there. So like I say, tomorrow I've got another job to do here. Hopefully I got time tomorrow. It's just about supper time now, but as I knock everything over, tomorrow is I need to do take this all apart. This valve is really bad. So this is for the intake valve and the fuel mixer and everything for my Fairbanks Morris Eclipse engine. So you'll see that one here in an upcoming video as well. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.